The issue with people today, they focus primarily too much on sex and the amount of women that are being manipulated to be willing to allow men to play in their wombs. So you're dealing with women who are immoral as well. So you have two people who are in this movement of immorality. You have the young lady on who was doing her thing online, and you have Shannon Sharpe. And I hear a lot of people blaming her, but the primary blame should be on Shannon Sharpe for not being able to control his lust and his passions, and him coming into being somewhat successful also fed into it, and it had him thinking that he can just pretty much just do whatever the hell he wants to. And when you compromise your moral standards simply because you've accumulated some wealth, you pretty much destroy yourself. You know how the word says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And this is what's happening with him. But a lot of us is trying to make this a race issue. It's not a race issue. It's a moral issue. She's doing what she's doing, and he's doing what he's doing. So it's not a black and white issue. It's not even an age issue. You know how people say, well, he's 52 years old and he's messing around with a 19-year-old or 20-year-old. It's still a moral issue. And when you compromise your moral standards, you mess up. And does it matter if he had a $100 million contract that he was getting ready to sign just 2 days before this happened? What came in between that? Did she come in between that? No. He came in between it because he compromised his moral standards. It's called self-destruction. He destroyed himself. When we compromise our moral standards, everything falls apart. When the Creator opens up avenues for you to become successful, that is not the time for you to become arrogant and to lose yourself. That is the time of where humility should naturally become the factor of your being.
There is a solution I do not think you've considered. When you get to the top, you understand how far it is to fall. But if you think very little of yourself, then you can be pushed off and fall very easily. What is your opinion of yourself?
I believe I deserve to be where I am. I've worked hard for it.
Then don't let them push. They will never let you rest. You push. Integrity can be an expensive thing. What is the price of your integrity? What are you willing to pay?
I would say this is a short response to my Shannon Sharpe video that I made last night. A very good friend of mine had asked me, he said, what did you mean when you said that when you reach success, that is when humility should set in? I compare it to a storm. The struggle to become success is like a storm that we all go through. We all have to venture through the storm. And every storm passes. You just can't walk along with it. You have to keep moving forward. And sometimes you have to be still and let the storm pass. Being still is equivalent to demonstrating humility. And you let the storm pass, because every storm passes. The storm is the struggle that we go through. The stress element and the weight of maintaining our dedication in order for us to eventually be able to walk through the doors of success. Just like any storm that is coming, you know, there's anxiety, there's some fear there, there's some uncertainty there. And so while we're going through the storm, we're dealing with all of those internal things. And then after we do exactly what we are supposed to do in terms of being responsible, along with our keeping our self-respect and our integrity and our dedication and our love for what we do, the storm becomes less. And therefore the struggle becomes less. And it strengthens our dedication to what we're doing. And if we love what we're doing, and if we know what it takes to become success, we respect the journey. The journey is deeply respected. And so after the storm passes, we cannot lose focus or memory on what it took for us to survive that storm. And that takes humility. Every struggle, every blessing that we are given by the Creator should imbue in us as human beings a state of humility, because we no longer have to go through what we went through in order for us to become successful. And during that journey, we also understand what it's going to take to maintain that status of success. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take being responsible. It's going to take self-respect and integrity. And it's going to take us remembering, if we lose our focus and if our dedication and everything is still not intact, we understand how very far it is for us to fall back to the bottom. So humility is key to prolong the success that we are blessed with. And obviously, this was forgotten by way of Shannon Sharpe. This was forgotten by him. And he allowed his so-called power and celebrity status and his wealth and his converting unto himself to the degree he actually felt like he was a god, or if not God itself. And so he felt as though he could do pretty much whatever he wanted to do. And once he lost his self-control, he lost control of his life. And now he's walking back into a storm that is going to take him a long time to venture through. And hopefully he comes out on the other side successful. So humility is key. Humility is very important. We have to respect what we went through, because had we not went through that storm, we would not be where we are this day. So what it took for us to get there should never be forgotten. And there's a whole lot of people out here in the celebrity world who lost touch and lost memory of the storm in which they had to go through in order to make it to the top. And when you forget, you fall. So never forget where you come from and what it took to get you there. Because once you get there, the only way that success is going to be maintained by way of any human being, whether male or female, humility has to be the key. You know, Customato had told Brother Mike Tyson, he said, there's a lot of boxers to where after they get hit, they freak out and they lose control and they end up getting knocked out. He said, when you get hit, that is when you need to be at your most calmest state. And I know he's telling the truth because I'm an ex-boxer and an ex-martial artist. Humility is key. So, we have to understand not to jump to conclusions of how this is going to turn out for Sharpe. Don't jump to conclusions, because there's definitely going to be more coming out about this. You have people in our community kicking him while he's down. And you know that's what we do. When at first the people were admiring him, looking up to him and praising him, and he fell for it. I, in particular, I don't like admiration. I don't like praise. I don't even like compliments. Because if it's one thing that I do know, that the dual component of praise and admiration and envy is betrayal. You have people who admire you, and if they admire you, they envy you because they wish that they were where you are. And if they envy you, the brother of envy is jealousy. And the father of jealousy is betrayal. So don't fall for the admiration. And you want to know how you won't be a victim of falling for admiration? Humility. Inner peace. Humility. You must maintain your humility and therefore your integrity, and remembering what it took for you to get where you are. And like the character in Game of Death said, what are you willing to pay to fight back? What are you willing to pay? He wasn't talking about money. He was talking about sacrifice. What are you willing to pay? Because he said, you know that once a person make it to the top, only they know how far it is for them to fall. But if you think very little of yourself, then you can be pushed off and fall very easily. And that's why he asked him, what is your opinion of yourself? And the character who was playing Bruce Lee, he had responded, I believe that I deserve to be where I am. I worked hard for it. At some point in time, Brother Shannon Sharpe lost touch with that. So hopefully if he gets through this storm will remind him on how hard it was for him to get where he is at. Some of us get where we are very easily. And we sell our integrity. Some people sell their bodies to get where they at. But it's not worth it. The whole thing is venture through the storm, endure the storm, learn of the storm and what it's for, and how each moment of that storm is a valuable lesson for you to learn of yourself. And once the storm passes, understand the vitality of humility. Unless you understand the power and the vitality of humility, eventually down the line, you're going to fail. And there's going to be another storm standing there looking at you that you're going to have to venture through. Venture through the storm. Learn the storm. Understand how very important it is that every single human being who becomes success understand the importance of humility. Humility. It governs the way you treat yourself. Humility. It governs the way you respect your craft and what it took to get there. Humility. It governs the way you treat every other human being in whom you come in contact with. Only then are you, in fact, success. You're successful.